Thank you, viewers. Welcome to the special talk show where we invited one of the thought leader expert into your the corporate challenges and issues. In this today's speech show, we have been invited Mr. Sushant Roy, who is the co-founder of Alyve Health, especially talking on your the concurrent issue of the workplace, that is the holistic well-being program, how you can design. In this discussion, we are going to address certain issues of the corporates that are about the holistic well-being, how you can properly understand and where it is lies on. Mental health and physical health, what are your initiatives? Can help your employee to be more healthy into the organization and workplace. Then what better you can do for the work-life balance, addressing the burnout and the remote employee, what action and measures you require to be take care while you are designing and developing an employee well-being program. Furthermore, which is most important for an organization, how you can initiate a culture of well-being within your organization. That advices we are getting through and getting from Sushant Roy. His experience is going to help you to how you can deal with the sensitive cases of the employee well-being and how you can measure the effectiveness of your program you have been initiated for your organization. What better you can do and how you can do. Let's welcome Sushant Roy, the co-founder of the Alyve Health, to address these issues for you.
Thank you for this. It's always very nice to see the efforts that are being put up in this area, trying to give this space of human capital and human resources the required importance, right? And every such initiative, every such organization like yours, kind of plays its part in kind of making it important, making it relevant, sharing the best practices, right? I used to be a managing director and partner with Accenture Management Consulting, and leaving it to start something of my own,
Okay.
along with the two other co-founders, Sashank Avdhani and Vineet Mehta.
Okay.
And Sashank is my batchmate from XLR Jamshedpur. We have been close friends since then. And Vineet used to work with Shashank in Boston Consulting Group. Shashank was a partner and Vineet was a technology leader in Boston Consulting Group. So that's how we three came together and started Alyve Health. With this mission, you can say, where we want to bring this holistic healthcare, comprehensive holistic healthcare to everyone, and make sure the aspect of proactive well-being is incorporated in everything that we do, right?
Demand of every corporate, they have to think about the well-being of employee. So that's why we have been invited Mr. Sushant Roy for this discussion with us today, so we can design their well-being strategies into this critical era where we focusing on the individual health. And when we talk about the individual health, it is the priority of the organization. To come to you with the first question. So that is, can you explain now first, as I've been shared with you, the understanding of the holistic well-being. So the holistic approaches to employee well-being, which is specially to entailing by the organization or into this today's the important to the today's workplace.
Right.
So what organization had to do? What is
So-
your thought? Yes, please.
So I would like to answer it this way: that when we are talking about holistic well-being, we have to look at it from different dimensions. So one aspect of one dimension of how to become holistic, right? When we are talking about well-being, is to address all the different aspects of health, which is physical health, mental health, emotional health, the social health, right? The financial health, right? So that is one dimension, right? How do you, so when we are saying holistic, it should address all these areas, right? The second dimension is, to be honest, a person's well-being is not just determined by their own well-being. There are family members, children, spouse, parents, right? So that is again second dimension. That can you not just take care of your employees' health and well-being, but at least give them the opportunity or the means to take care of others' health and uh, well-being also, right? Why? Because it's interconnected, right? We are not, if something happens to my child and if child is falling sick or my parents, every working professional, will have older parents who would be more need of health and well-being,
Yes.
this thing. And whenever something happens to them, that causes stress on us also. That's how. So that's the second dimension when we are saying holistic. First dimension is obviously, as I said, the entire spectrum: physical, mental, emotional, social. Second dimension, not just the employee. Can you at least have some means where they're taking care of their loved ones also, right? The third dimension is not just focus on curative. That means not just focus on illness, right? But the entire spectrum from prevention to assessment. Illness and curation is also there, right? So, how to continuously assess, apprehend that something is wrong, right? Try to prevent it, right?
Yeah.
And in case everything else has failed, yes, then obviously you will have to have ways and means to, handle the illness, right? Or a mental health issue, right? So that's the third dimension when we're saying a holistic aspect, right? So I know in the past you might have heard that when we're saying holistic, it is only one thing, right? But if you think of it, I've already told you three dimensions of how it should be holistic, truly holistic, right? Now there is a fourth dimension also, which is very important. Is see, every person has unique health challenges,
Yeah.
right? And unique motivations. What might motivate you might not motivate me,
Yeah, definitely.
right? So, if you want holistic well being, your initiatives, your programs, your health plans, or any program has to take care of that. It is not a, like whenever, say, somebody is launching a product, they will have multiple variants of it, right? Something with orange flavor, mango flavor, this flavor. But when it comes to employee health and well-being, it is almost ki ye hai, I am giving you this, now that is the same for everyone. But
Yes.
that's not the case, right? I might be motivated because of fear, right? That, oh, if something goes wrong, that is why I will do something, right? So I will have to be, kind of made to act on my health because using that.
Yes.
Somebody else might be because of love and hope, that my motivation is, say, okay, 5 years down the line I should be able to continue to play football with my daughter, and that is my motivation. So I have to take that motivation and then take the actions, right?
Definitely.
Somebody else might be, oh, I have to come first in everything that I do within my office, right?
Yeah.
Whether it is a steps challenge or something. So unique health needs, because every person is different, right? In terms of their
Yeah.
ancestry, their genetics, genes, their food habits. uh, Everybody is different, so the needs are unique and the motivations are also unique. So that is why it has been so difficult for people,
Definitely.
right? Because all these things, when you consider, is when you actually get truly holistic well-being, right? Or so longish answer again, but yeah, I hope all there are so many dimensions, that's the truth of it, right?
Yes. However, when we talk about the holistic well-being, so earlier it was generally as in the discretion of the management. But as you said, and your advices is there, so the organization do not have to think their own perspective now. Now it is the need of the people. As you said, that uniqueness come in through your actions. uniqueness should be come into the thought, uniqueness should be come into the idea, so that it is called all around the holistic, that we are focusing rather than the individual well-being of as an employee, but behind them they have their families, they have their elders which require to be take care. So as part of holistic now has been changed into this new dimension of work. Now, when we talk about the holistic well-being, it has been now come to the greater idea to for the organization what they have to do. Second come, which is the most the important part for the organization have to consider, especially for the individual perspective. That is about the caring of the mental health at workplace. So how can the employer create and the supportive environment at their organization for the mental health? When we talk especially about the employee who are dealing with the chronic stress and the mental health disorders. So what would be your advices for that?
So, so one aspect, again, throughout my experience of my corporate career and also post that dealing with 400 plus corporates today, which are Alyve Health clients, right? One of the things is that whenever this aspect of mental health comes up, right, and how can we help our employees regarding mental health, the first and by de facto the solution comes to, if something has gone wrong, then how would we provide therapy or this, right? So that is there. Though that aspect of how do you, if something has gone wrong, then how do you help the employee come back or get better, right? Or
Yeah.
solve the issue. So that aspect is there, but that comes at the end.
Yes.
There are two other things previous to that we have to do.
That is like an the
First,
corrective action, but here we have to think about the that the proactive action, what better can do.
yes, and there also I would divide it into two aspects, right? And as to what are the two areas where organizations, specifically regarding mental health. One is that you have to create the foundation, right? So that the environment is so that the people are more educated about it, people are more aware of it, right? The supervisors who are managing the team members are much more understanding of mental health issues, right? So that is the first part, that this culture or the developing this culture, so that the you're almost to the extent of normalizing this aspect and making people aware of the importance of taking care of this, right? So that is the first aspect, and I will go a little bit deeper into that also. The second aspect is, how do you get that sense, the assessment part of it, right? What is your mechanism to get a sense if something has gone wrong, to get a sense that people are being burned, are getting burnt out, right? uh, so that aspect is also very important, right? Because then you can do something before somebody has gone into a depression or gone into a issue, right? So first, the preparedness, the laying the foundation part of it. The second aspect is, what are the means that I have today to get a sense or a pulse of the my employees. And the most interesting part is, the pulse can be different in different teams based on location, based on different kinds of pressures, right? So these are the three aspects, I would say, where how where employers need to focus on. In the first aspect, I would go a little bit deeper, because that is where normally people are not really focusing about. So in the first aspect, it is very important to create an environment where open conversations on mental health are encouraged, right? Uh, it is the aspect of setting the right expectations of the work, right? So let me tell
Definitely.
you one thing. Say, for example, now if there is a new doctor at a hospital, right? The doctor is an employee of the hospital. Now, the role involves you to stay from 6 p.m. to say 2 a.m., right? So, if the role involves that, then that expectation has to be set. That what does this mean? This means that you will not be able to attend, evening dinners or if somebody invites you at if that role involves that on a Saturday or a Sunday I'm giving life giving support, right? Then your friends will keep Saturdays and Sundays some parties or football match or a cricket match, or they will invite you to play board games, but you will not be able to go. You will get your holiday, you will get your free time, but it will be from 9 a.m. in the morning to 5 p.m. where nobody else is free. But
Yes.
that is a so, and this is through different corporates who have seen that which are the teams which are doing well. One very important thing is they're setting the right expectations, right? And after they're setting the right expectations, they are also ensuring that people are able to handle the expectations, right? For example, clearly stating, say, okay, in a year, there would be, say, if you're, say, an IT support, right? Now, if there is something has to, say, go live at 12 o'clock at night, you have to be there giving that support at 12 o'clock at night. That is what the role entails.
Yes.
But if you're aware of it, that okay, 4 days in a year, normally based on past trends, you have to stay, say, till 12 o'clock, right? So prepare your family, right? That there would be those 4 days. Huh? Every day nahi hoga, but wo 4 days honge, right? And you have to set it up in that way. And also then ensure that if it is going beyond 4 days, then you make some corrections, right? That means maybe the resourcing is not correct, more resources are required. There could be multiple aspects, right? So I think this aspect of having these open conversations, setting the right expectations, normalizing that burnout, it might happen, right? The fact that it is not a sign of weakness, right? It is, you have to just again, so if you're getting burnt out, what can you do, right? That should, when you talk about supervisors and team members, when was the time, when has it ever happened that a supervisor is actually, instead of giving training as to how to sell, is giving training on, if you feel like you're getting burnt out, this is what you need to do. I have done the same thing, right? I handled it in this way, right? So this aspect of preparedness, education, awareness around mental health is very important. And I'm not focusing on the third aspect because more or less companies have kind of got it sorted. People have EAP programs, therapy sessions, which they are giving to
Yes.
people, counseling, on site, this thing, keeping them completely private, confidential. So there's a lot of effort that is happening on the curative side of it, right? When if things have gone wrong. But the first aspect, and also in the second aspect, people have started, but to be honest, whenever there is an assessment like this, uh, it has to be made sure that the people are, for example, the reason why when somebody does some assessment on our platform
Okay.
and they are okay with it, because we are a HIPAA compliant organization. So forget about the corporate. The individual's data is not cannot go to anyone. Even if government asks for it, it will not get it, right? So that assurance is very important when you're doing an assessment. That yes, at an aggregate level, I will analyze it, right? That okay, how many people are in this category, how many people are in that category, whether it is a health risk assessment, physical health, or whether it is mental health. But it's important to gain that trust of the employee that this is not performance appraisal, right? It is not a performance appraisal. If you're having some issues with mental health, it is not that if the people have a fear that this that the corporate or my supervisors will see it as a weakness, they will never open up. They will all give right answers, what they think is the best answer, which will make mental health perfect, right? So that's where all the three areas are important, and this is how Marab, what we have seen, that how corporates can create this kind of a supportive environment, uh, for mental health.
But
And this would also ensure that this assessment bit basically ensure that people who are already on that journey of having this chronic stress or some disorder, you identify it early, take action, and take it forward. Right? So
Yeah,
yeah, that will
definitely.
be
The great strategy for the corporate that when where we are going to at the end for as in the conclusion corrective solution where someone faces the health issue, it is better for them to start at very beginning as in a corporate. Think holistically as the previous question we discussed about the
correct.
holistic approach. So now it is also the thinking holistically where and what level they have to go to where they have to ensure their mental health so that it can cause further to the physical health too where you have been suggested the idea for the first idea that is the foundation. Then second it come to the giving and creating an environment for the communication collaboration and concerns with the people because the uniqueness have to consider when we come to the third portion of third part as well as third question of this discussion. Then it come to the mental health is the major cause which we cannot see, we cannot absorb the required like the assessment, many the technical level assessment had to be done for diagnosis have to be done. Then if we can find there are something mentally happen, then it cause the health the physical health issues. But now question come to here, majorly organization as of now when we talk about especially to the manufacturing the service industry they can focus major on the mental health, but in the manufacturing they focus on the physical health. So in that part what would be the your idea and strategies for the effective strategies
Mhm.
that promote the physical health among employee, and
Right.
what initiatives the organization they can take so
Correct.
that they can have an tailored the accommodatable the very fitness level and the health condition within the organization they can maintain.
Right.
So what do you
So I think
add?
the first aspect is I will go back to the one of the dimensions that every person's health needs are unique and their motivations are unique, right? What excites them is very different, right? So the first aspect, first strategy is to have a diverse fitness offerings, right? You have to have that, right? You can't force everyone to do yoga. I might be more interested in playing football in a team, and that's what motivates me, right?
Yeah,
Somebody else likes to walk with their spouse every day in the morning, right? Somebody else might want to do trekking, and that is their way of uh, staying fit or moving, and that drives them, right? So diverse fitness offerings from yoga to walking group, strength training, some gym memberships, that has to be available, right? You can't assume that. See, there are so many people who don't like to do anything virtual, right? And if we are only say having online yoga sessions, right? Some people might not be interested. Some
yeah,
people will
definitely.
be, right? But
Yes.
others might not. So diverse fitness offerings is the first aspect. The second aspect is how to make it convenient, right? So, for example, uh, one of the things that works very well is say very so gym memberships which has complete flexibility. So you can go to any gym any day. You're not bound to one gym, and the corporate is giving that kind of a membership. So today I'm going here. Tomorrow I have gone to my office, and there is a gym near my office. I will go there. It's open, so it's
Definitely.
convenient. And now I don't have any excuse, right? I go to my some relatives' place in different city, or I go to visit my parents for a week. There also there is a gym near my house where I can go from that same membership.
Yes,
So convenience, right? One-on-one sessions, timing, right? I might want to do it in the morning, this, that. So that convenience aspect is very important, right? How do you make it convenient? The third aspect is how do you drive, engagement due to some gamification, right? Because again, as I said, if your starting point, so the way we have to think is it, it's not that I am investing money in giving you a gym membership. No, it is more than that. I'm not only spending that money, I am expecting time from the employees. That time is actually more valuable.
yes,
So, how are you ensuring that you're giving the right bang for the buck for that 30 minutes that I am investing? Because if you have done justice to the first 2 3 hours that I have invested as an employee in a fit, and then it will become autopilot. I would have already started gaining something from it, right? Some benefits out of it. And then my own motivations and this will start kicking in and will take it forward. So it's very important to have gamification as a part of the process. Make it a little bit fun, make it a little bit such that some of the other motivations are taken into account, right? There are so many aspects that we do, like, if there is a steps challenge, we link it to charity, right? So
Okay.
somebody might be interested in the rewards. Okay, if I come first, then this I will get a smartphone. Others might not be interested, but there's somebody else might be interested in every 4,000 steps that I take, one meal is donated to the an underprivileged child. So every time I'm walking 4,000 steps, I know today by walking 8,000 steps, what for this day for one child I have managed to give them food,
Yes.
right? So it's a different motivation, right? I might be very lazy. "Nahin, छोड़ो, I don't want to go," but if it is made so convenient that okay, I have to walk and I am anyway helping myself, but I'm also helping somebody else.
Yes.
Somebody else might be interested in, if there is a contest around that every time that you're going for a walk, take a selfie, promote it within the organization, right?
Yeah.
As a, you be the influencer within the organization, right?
Yeah.
Somebody might be motivated by that. That
Mhm.
okay, I am putting in this effort, I'm getting the benefits. Let me be that influencer who is then taking it to all my colleagues, right? So motivations might be different. So how do you
Yes.
gamify it? How do you make it engaging, right? Is a very important strategy, right?
Yeah.
uh, as I said, you cannot take it for granted that just because that service is there, it will get picked up or people will use it, right? So the third aspect is very important, I would say. The uh, so first is, anyway, again, the diverse range of offerings. Second is the convenience aspect of it. Third, the engagement through gamification aspect of it. And I would add one more point, which we have seen to be very successful, is, when through this physical fitness itself, you can bring the team also a bit closer,
Yeah.
right? So, for example, uh, like others have different things. We in our health plans, we along with, say, a wallet for doctor consultations, we have a wallet for which we call a sports pass. So you can
Okay.
go from the app itself. You can book for a badminton court or a swimming or a pickleball court, or or a turf, football turf, right? So one of the employees can book it, and all of them can then just go for 1 hour and play some cricket or some five-a-side football. But this aspect of where you can even involve the team members, right, in something, that has multiple benefits for an organization, right? Because
Yes.
now it's almost like, as a not only you yourself are motivated, but there is somebody else uh, who is also nudging you, right? Kya
Definitely.
so suppose there is a team competition, right? That as a team, five people are doing something and there is something happening. So, अरे आज क्यों नहीं गया, मतलब अरे नहीं नहीं चलो ना, हो जाएगा, अरे I will also, okay, today we will walk from parking to office.
Yes.
That's it. I will not say from a metro I'm getting down, today I will walk, right? Chalo, all four of us will walk. We'll not take the auto or something, right? So some kind of a thing where their colleagues are itself kind of nudging them and taking them forward, right? So I think these are the four, I would say, broad strategies which have worked basically, right? Uh, and while it might seem that, oh, that it seems a lot of work has to be done to make it successful, it is, because, as I said, if you have to assume that people don't have time, people don't have willpower. All
Yes.
their time and willpower have been exhausted in career and family. So there is
Definitely.
nothing left for health. Now,
Yes.
if you keep that in mind, you will do a lot of things to make it happen.
Yes. That is the one reason where the willpower and time both has been exhausted with the family and other job related stuff. So that's why we are losing our health. So thank you for you and your ideas that you are here motivating and empowering us to be more present to our considering more about our health. So when we talk about the physical health as the dimension you consider and share, that is about where organization had to think on with the diversity. When they think and plan with the diversity, it will give the multiple opportunity according to the need, uniqueness of the need, and the motivation of the individuals. Then most of all is that you have been suggested, that is the convenienceness. As of now, I have been gone through the 350 plus the organization where we talk about this health program, well-being program. Then the convenienceness, that is one of the burning point for that. For example, the people they have been in one location, then the people they are hiring for the different, they are going for the vacation, but can they find that? So that solution, maybe your organization and your efforts are going to be at the end. I'm also coming to that point, but as of now, that what are the strategies you are sharing for the physical health can be drive through. So organization have to think holistically, organization have think to diversically, so that the need of individual and their motivation can be tackled. Either they can have some buddy plan, the colleagues they can help out, but they have to come out of the bursting as of now their time and their thought process which they have been around the families as well as the corporate jobs.
Right.
Then third, we come about the most important part. That is, it is not third, it is the fourth one, the work-life balance, which is
Right.
also the globally, it is the globally talking about the
Correct.
work-life balance. They have to go on. Organization are that the management need now. That people should be healthy, they should be happy. But how? And we are, since it is around 5 decades, where organization and thought leader they are focusing and pitching to the work-life balance. But at the ground, it is difficult within the half decade that organization cannot be totally implement what real the work life balance is, how they have to initiate. So now come to as in your experience.
Right.
So as you have been into the consulting corporate, then now you are into the your healthcare. So where you are now especially dealing with the part of the individual health as well as the helping corporate to designing their health program for the organization. So, in your experience, what are the most successful initiative where the organization they can help the employee to achieve their health or their achieve the healthy work life balance,
Right.
which we talk particularly about the where
Correct.
maybe the high pressure industries and how.
Right. 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 So I think the first thing that we have seen that uh, has worked in different organizations is in it lies in the word itself, work, life, and the balance of it, right? But I would go back to the point around the first aspect is setting the right expectations of the work.
Yes.
People might have joined, they might not have the right expectation, and during joining, to be honest, we sometimes underestimate the maybe the amount of work or the variance in work that might come up,
Yeah.
right? So setting the right expectations upfront is very important, and preparing for that variance, or preparing for those periods where there will be lack of balance in this work life area. So so one is also, obviously you can have the utopian view that 365 days of the year it would be all balanced, but it
Yeah.
will not happen. It can never happen, right?
Really.
There would be this 31st of March, a year closing, where whatever, let's be honest, 90% of the people in sales would be like struggling at the last moment, right?
Definitely.
Or in different organizations, in different this thing, say there is a some certification that is going to happen, and the customer service team is struggling to meet the this thing around this, right? So there would be these periods of ups and downs, right? Or this lack of balance. So first is setting the expectations, second is how can we be prepared for it, right? Because say your work life balance is going off track for 3 days or 4 days in a month, right? But if you're mentally prepared that okay, these are those 4 days, right? And I've taken precautions for it, right? If say for that day I will not be able to go for a, say, in my as a life part of it, say I am going to play football every Saturday,
Mm.
right? But I know the Saturday before the, say, the quarter end is a bit iffy for me, So I have to be prepared that, okay, I might have to work that day. I will not be able to go for it. So can I make arrangements for going to a Sunday to say, do a different thing, right? You have to be prepared to manage the balance. And the third thing that has worked is recovery. Recovery post a high tense period
Mhm.
before you get burnt out. So recover before you get burnt out. So if
Yes.
there has been a period of 4 days where you have to have, say, 12 o'clock at night, you have had to be in office because of something, some issue has happened, right? So I will give an example. There is a HR software company which was into payroll, managing payroll in US, and their banker was the bank, Silicon Valley Bank, which went down. So they had money from the corporates which they had in their bank, but now that bank is no longer there. So how will they pay the employees of all the corporates who are using their software? So in say 3 days they had to work, uh, a lot to change the bank at the back end, change it to I think they changed it to JP Morgan. So those 3 days they had to do it, right?
Yes.
Because it's because otherwise 10,000 or 20,000 people wouldn't have got their salaries,
Yeah.
right? So every corporate has a purpose also that they're solving, right? So sometimes that purpose would demand that you have to put in that extra effort. But
Yes.
that has happened for 7 days. But now you need to recover. Problem
Yes.
is solved, issue is solved, everything has happened. High fives, this thing. But then take one day off every week
Mm.
to emerge from it, right? Don't let it continue forever. It's a very
Yes.
practical strategy. If you assume that some things will go wrong, and then okay, after it goes wrong, we will put in that effort. But after that, we will take out some time for a special movie, right? That okay, uh, on a on a Saturday you had to work, so now no, don't, not only you get a comp off, but a movie ticket, right, with your spouse
Compliment.
and kid, right,
Yeah.
on a Friday,
Yeah,
right? So on
definitely.
that day you just go. Otherwise you will take the comp off, or you will keep the comp offs for later. That doesn't work, right?
Definitely.
Take the comp off, right? So you have to put in place, or basically encourage the people, right? Once you've gone through this phase, take the comp. So get your recover it before it goes to a burnout stage, right? But be prepared that there might be pockets where your balance will go out of whack, right?
Yeah.
I think that is the very important thing. Other than that, already a lot of companies are doing some flexible work arrangements, right?
Yes.
Where okay, on some days, or don't start at 9 a.m. You have to say drop your kid to school. There's no other option. The school is far further away. Have that flexibility in the work. So from 9:30 to 11:30, I won't work. Maybe I'll come at 8:30 and I will work till 9:30. So do that, right? Taking regular breaks is again uh, a very good feature to revive, get back into shape. And what we also promote is don't just take a break by going and having tea, right? Do some yoga, do some stretching, and we have
Yes.
some desk yoga classes at those times. So 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. is supposed to be the worst time, right? And it's proven by research that 2 p.m. to 3 p.m., even doctors who are performing surgeries have made the most errors because of
Yes.
our circadian rhythm. 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. is the worst time where we are most least attentive. Right? So
Yeah.
take a break during that 10 minutes and do some stretching. Okay, you don't have to do some stretching, do some this thing. We have added, that's why some features like do a neck assessment. So look into the
Yes.
camera and just do what the camera is saying, and it will give you assessment how
Wow.
stretched you are or this you are, and that's it. Do something, right? Walk to the garden and come, right? But these regular breaks do help, right? Not only during the day, but again, this mentality of clubbing all the holidays, or even converting it into cash at the end. These things are what is making it worse, right?
Yes,
Because
definitely.
there should be break. There should be those. days that people are taking that day off and going somewhere, right? And not, okay, aaj kam kar lete hain, but so we'll keep pushing it and then we'll convert it into cash, because a lot of companies allow that, right? So breaks, as I said, not only during the day but also during a period, right? There is no benefit. You're doing a lot of harm to yourself by stacking all your holidays, taking it from one year to another year. You're adding it, doesn't help, right? So I would say these are the few practical things that definitely we can do to uh, you know have a better work life balance, right?
Definitely.
So,
So, when we talk about the work-life balance, so one thing is that the priority organize it is the priority of the individual. They have to think on their work-life balance. They have to be planned to check and act accordingly. Otherwise, it would be accumulation. As we said that if there are some the urgency and certain work come, for 7 day have to work, but 8 they require definitely off. From the organization side, it may be some motivation, as you said that on Friday there may be some movie ticket, so that can motivate them. Next day they can take a full rest, so that required. Now it come to the work life balance. When we talk about the how much a ratio of individual life spending into the work, what they give to themselves, then it divided by the remaining of their either health measures or their mindset, then we can get however the actual finding of are we balanced with our work or life or not. It is also the mentality where sometimes people are encashing what they have been done, so that is all the way impacting their life further. Now come to the most important part, which is the issue of the organization. That is the burnout. So burnout is not majorly due to the work. There may be some time to the family issues and health issue would also be there. So how can the companies identify the early sign of the employee burnout, and what would be that your advices they can take the proactive measures that to prevent the sign of burnout within the employee or within their workplaces.
right. So as I mentioned in the beginning when we talk about mental health itself, that there are these three aspects of it, right? First
Definitely.
is preparing and the education around it. Around burnout, it is the same thing, right? You have to normalize it, right? You have to make people aware that it can happen, and it's not a weakness. It's not a you don't become weak if you say that I think this is becoming chronic and this is I'm moving towards burnout, right? It's okay to accept that, right? It's not a sign of weakness. It's not a performance appraisal that you're getting burnt out, right? Normally there is this thing that this stigma that if I say that I'm getting burnt out, people will think that I'm not able to work smart. I'm working hard but I'm not working smart, right? But that's not the case. As I said, there might be business pressures that come in during certain periods, right? Which makes it that way that you are moving towards a burnout, right? It might be that your the thing with the supervisor is not working out well, right? Not because the supervisor is intentionally doing something wrong. Now I will give you an example which will make it very clear. Suppose you have a team, right? So I'm sure, say you yourself also put in a situation, you have say four people in your team, right? One of them is very good, right? Has always delivered for you, right? Given the best outcomes, right? The three others were okay. Now there is something which is very critical that has come, right? Which can add a lot to your organization and this. The poor chap or poor girl has already some work, but you might, because you because they have been good, you might give more work, right? That the criticality of it, and say that work entails that this high pressure thing continues for 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, then that person also can get burnt out,
Yeah.
right? So we have to normalize this aspect that it can happen to everyone, right? But that's why it is important to have these regular check-ins, right? Have some anonymous ways to get a sense, right? So that at least within a team, if say everybody is saying that I'm just nobody's taking breaks, for example. Nobody's taking holidays.
Okay.
Nobody has taken any comp off. If then these are all signs that things are not going in the right direction, right? So these regular checking, regular assessments, getting that pulse of the organization, right, is going to be very important in this journey to prevent burnout, right? And I think one more aspect of this that uh, again, here also things like convenience can come in, and use of technology, right? uh, these face scans, people are watching YouTubes every day, right? Or on WhatsApp spending some time.
Yes.
So we have some face scans where based just you don't have to do anything, no answer, nothing, just look into the camera for 30 seconds, and it will to tell you that what are your stress levels, right, to an
Okay.
approximate level, right? And that is confidential, but you get some immediate self-care tips, self-help tips from there, that uh, let's take us this thing, let's maybe so we have, for example, say habit coaches. People
Mhm.
open up to the habit coaches that, okay, I want to take out this 20 minutes because I want to read a book every day. I have not read a book for the last 1 year, and I'm going, and believe me, if you can make the person take out the 20 minutes and get back to the loved habit of reading a book for that person, you have done the job, because
Mhm.
you have broken the this thing and
Yes.
prove to the person that
You can do.
you can do it,
It's
right?
you and you can do. No
You
one
can do
can
it,
do it.
right?
Yes.
Right? So and baby steps are important in this, right? So whenever somebody is going through this stage, it should not be that, oh, suddenly within a week, it's not a switch on and off. Oh, I'm getting burnt out, now I'm not getting burnt. It's not a switch. You have to
Yeah.
give small wins. The importance is to celebrate small wins ourselves.
Yes.
And how can you make it through awareness, right? That for example, uh, uh, the aspect of sleep, right? So you mentioned 8 hours a day, 24 hours a day, right? 8 hours you are working, 8 hours everything else, eating, entertainment, traveling, everything is happening, and 8 hours you are sleeping. How much time and effort have, and think about you as an individual, how much mind space have you given to think about your sleep? Well, it will be almost zero
Yes.
for 99.9% of the people.
Yeah.
Right? Okay, sleep, हाँ, मतलब, why worry? मतलब, but so for example, getting the sleep right? So, and that can be the first thing to target and get a win. Can we sleep better in a good
Yeah.
environment, right? By at least not looking into the office WhatsApp group 1 hour at least before sleep, right? 1 hour before, I will stop looking into escalation mails, this, that. At least 1 hour. Let's start from there, right? And
Yeah.
small wins, and we celebrate those small wins for ourselves, right? And these are the initiatives, this is the approach that can solve it, because otherwise it's very difficult, because end of the day, it's an organization, it's there to do business, right?
Yes.
So uh, so yeah, these have worked in organizations, right? Focusing on the sleep patterns, uh, you know uh, just the first target, sleep for 8 hours, that almost, before that, okay, even a smaller target, can we not look into the phone 1 hour before sleep?
Yeah.
Phone for office work, right? Because at that point, what will you end up doing? Nothing, right?
Yeah.
Then maybe extend it a little bit more. Whatever the work permits, right? I think those things have really helped in kind of preventing burnout, right? Primarily, right? Once already a person is in a state of depression, or if already there is a burnout, then it takes drastic. So then you require surgery,
Yeah.
then you have to forcefully take a 1 month break from any work. But
From every
before
work,
that,
not
how
any
can
work,
you?
it is every work.
Every work, right? So it's very important that before we reach that kind of a stage, we start focusing on some of these areas. Sleep,
Yeah.
uh, small wins within sleep. I'm not saying immediately we would be able to do that. I'm also not able. There are periods where I'm sleeping for 4 hours a night, right? But when it happens after a while, I know that this unbalanced phase, if I don't get out of it, it will be, I will be in trouble.
Yes,
So
definitely.
then you get back on this, right? So yeah, so those I would say are the broad areas, practical uh, things that have worked.
Yes. So these are the fantastic the advices you have been given related to the burnout. Number one, it come about the individuals, because when there is the burnout, it is something that triggering into the mind later on. When it is becoming as pressure, then after it is becoming the burnout. So it is now to as your strategies. The individual, they have to go with the baby steps. One time small win, then gradually have to follow. Then after, the proactive measures can be applied to as an individual to coming out from the that workplace or work label burnout, or either whatever the burnout would be there. And now
And
come
I think
to,
the
yes,
corporate
please.
has to normalize this. That
Yes.
it's okay. Burnout can be with anybody. It is
Yeah,
not a sign
definitely.
of weakness. It is just that somewhere we have not done all the right steps,
Yeah,
right? We have not
definitely.
taken those breaks. We have not. So small things, nothing career limiting, right?
Yes. So that's
I
why
think that is
yeah.
an important aspect because people are afraid, especially in not as much in developed countries, but in India, if you see,
Mhm.
even India, China, and other places, even in Japan, right, where it is the culture is that I won't talk about it. I will not say that I'm getting burnt out. Why? Because otherwise people will think I'm not good. It's a weakness. Right? So that is very important to kind of handle that aspect also.
Yes. So that's why number one priority come to the organization itself. They have to create the awareness. They have to create some specific measures of how they can early get these signs
Right.
to be
Right.
identified. But as part of, I consider about that, it is most on the individual. So it would become from the corporate side also, when they communicate the awareness. What possibly creating the burnout for the individual, so they have to make aware, then individual can make the effort. Sometimes for example, I'm working on some jobs, I had to deliver that by 2 p.m. But sometime when I am stressing that on, oh, I have to work on for delivery to my manager for 2 p.m., what is happening? I am working in, my mind is working in the dual shift. When I am doing thinking then processing, it is creating the burnout similarly. So it is the time given. So as earlier I have been that put that PDCA all the way, but some urgency it may be happen. But in some the regular and gradual time, it should be through a planned way have to done, so that the baby steps, as you mentioned, it can help the individual to come any types of the burnout they may have. So now come to the most important part. Now we are into the new world of work, the where the organization they are considering now the remote work employees are. So how organization can support these employee in case of the we talk about the employee well-being. So with the rise of the remote work, so what unique challenges as do employee face, and how can the organization address these challenges to ensure the remote worker they are also feel connected and supported within the organization, or the especially be connected to the workplace.
Yeah. So I think again, I would just say environment and the boundaries.
Definitely.
That uh, are we setting up so working from home doesn't mean that you uh, you just because it is convenient you will work from home by while you're wearing a pajama or something. It's okay in certain periods, but the environment has to be for work at home, right?
Yeah.
If you and that boundary has to be set. And I will tell you this from experience. Obviously each one of us has gone through that phase during COVID, right,
Yeah.
where the boundaries got blurred. right? For each one of us. From my personal experience, I can say I was having those, we had just started Alyve Health, and I was having those calls with my team members who were just hired. With my daughter in my lap. It was all good. It was okay for, this thing. But the point is, if you get into that mode, end of the day, that is work, right? So you can, have somebody come in, have some high, this thing, do it for 10 minutes, but then move ahead, right? You have to have the boundaries set. Otherwise, your mind will not able to differentiate between work and when the work has stopped and life has begun,
Yeah.
right? So as much as possible, try to set up the environment well, right? So that there is enough light. Try to, for example, I always encourage the team members to say, "Ki, switch on the video as much as possible, right? It is okay if you're not looking well, but then the next time you will put that extra effort to just, comb your hair or whatever. You'll do something, right? You'll wear a jacket on top, or you'll do something to bring your mind back to the fact that it is, otherwise you're working, next moment 6 o'clock something happens, now you have stopped working, 6:30 somebody calls, again your mind has started working. So where is the division, right? So
Mhm.
that is one very important thing, that the setting up the environment well, even when you're
Yes.
working from home, right? It can be, people will not have uh, all types of things, but simple things like, say, if a laptop is there, give a laptop stand also, na, so that it's just a little bit this thing, your hands are better positioned from a posture perspective, your posture is correct.
Yeah.
So those are the things what I mean by setting up the environment well, right? Put a board in front of you, right? It can be a white board, just simple anything, right? Just to give you the feeling that this is work. I can scribble something, right? Don't put your personal things there. This, but just to give you set up the environment so that you can work from home, get all the
Yes.
benefits, convenience of working from home, but still your mind is able to differentiate between when work has stopped and
Yes.
when your life has begun. So that is point number one. And it is very important that people are made aware of this, right? Because everybody started during COVID, and then they have continued doing that. A lot of people have
Yes.
not embraced this thing, and a lot of the youngsters who have started their careers by working from home,
Yeah.
uh, uh, it is difficult for them, right? So second is how to combat isolation, right? That if you're working from home, if you're not meeting people, you need to specifically work on this aspect of combating isolation, right?
Yes.
So you should have opportunities where people are coming to office, meeting others, right? Whether it is once a month, twice a month, once a quarter, figure out some way where, okay, everybody, you don't have an office there, that's fine, let them meet up in a football field,
Yeah.
right?
Definitely.
Let them meet up in a football field, just to put the faces to the voices.
Yeah. Definitely.
So this interaction, even within the team, right? Physical interaction uh, is important, right? That keeps us real, right? Uh, so you have to get the benefits of remote work, but on the same time, you have to combat isolation. You have to set the environment such that your boundaries are clear. Your mind should not get confused.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it will start thinking that 24 hours it's working only, but it's
Yeah.
not. Right? It should not be working, right? It should sleep for 8 hours. It should do other stuff for 8 hours, right? That.
Definitely.
And I think the third aspect is uh, there is a uh, how do you a lot of companies are struggling with how to ensure that the person is actually working,
Yeah.
right? So obviously one way which a lot of companies do is just focus on the outcomes, right? And then let them to themselves, right? Other companies have gone to another extreme. They are tracking whether the mouse is moving every minute or not, to see whether you are working or not. But both extremes don't work actually, right? Basically, uh, in this environment of remote working, uh, you know, the culture has to be such that it the person ends up working for the required amount of time, right? They if the culture and whatever are the policies that are being set up, right? The as I said, simple things like this, that as a mandate, there would be some meetings where you have to switch on the video, right? No ways. If you're not switching on the video, you will not be unmuted. You can't speak, right? Okay, no, internet is wrong. These are the things that will come up, right? Oh, my internet is not working, my connection is bad, so I can't switch on the video. So it can happen one day. Fix that internet, right? So I've seen organizations which have said, okay, this is this dongle, Geo dongle, or whatever XYZ dongle, now there should not be any internet issues for you,
Yeah,
right? But fix that aspect, right? So that the means so that people don't take advantage of this, right? Because if one person is able to take advantage, others start getting demoralized,
yeah, definitely.
right? That person, so he is still outside in his friend's house, and people are thinking he's working, and nobody is able to catch it. Oh, then it gives me also incentive to end up do it, right? So there has to be a proper balance of checks to ensure that specifically check in, check out, right? It can
Yeah,
be, you should allow flexible timings, but let people be very transparent about it, right? That if I have gone to watch a movie in the afternoon for whatever reason, I don't know, maybe it's a early release and you have been called and you're going from 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. to watch a movie, you should say that I'm checking out, or basically that I'm now not working, right?
yeah,
If you can reach that level where people are transparently telling you that, okay, these 3 hours I've not been working, I'll come back and I will work.
yes,
That is where we have to strive to achieve through various mechanisms, right? Because otherwise people will go to watch the movie. Those 3 hours anyway they will not be working. And when other employees come to know that, oh, this guy is doing this, they will then, why should I not do this, right? So some of these unique challenges which has come up in the last 2-3 years, right, because of COVID, but a lot of companies have tackled it quite well, I would say. But as individuals, a little bit more awareness around it, how to handle these, say, especially shifts, people who are working in night shifts from home, it's quite difficult.
yeah, very,
You have to understand that, when that person is working from home at the night, and if, say, everybody is not fortunate enough to have separate rooms, right? So in that room, others are sleeping. This person, the or lights are off, and you're working into it. It's just, it doesn't work that way. So you have to
yes,
figure out some way to, uh, uh, you know, uh, I have seen people just put a green screen, like YouTubers put a green screen at the back, now. Just
hmm,
put in a simple green screen, just to give you the some kind of a closure, and that green screen inside this, there are lights. So outside people are moving around, that's fine, but you are on this work. So setting up the environment and giving him the right advice, right, for the
yes,
environment. Once you have finished your work at home, so we have programs where we take the people through the sleep environment, right? And there are
okay,
coaches which help them,
hmm,
specialists who help them with setting up the environment well, right? And based on their unique situation, you can't give a blanket utopian statement ki do this, keep your phone in another room. If, say, you're living in one BHK, where are you keeping your phone? Right? It's a if the entire family is there, you you can give the suggestion that make it entirely dark. But
definitely,
there are people moving in, coming out, maids are coming in, coming out. These are practical things.
yeah,
But in spite of that, you can set up the environment, figure it out, put an eye patch, earplugs. There are so many aspects which have really helped people to get the right rest, get the right sleep, and mentally divide this part. Work over, now home is started. Yes, there would be some times, as I said, always there would be some times where this you have to stretch the time for work. But the good part of working from home is you have now saved 2 hours a day,
Yes.
right? 2 hours of traveling a day. So I just, tell the people sometimes that now you have saved 2 hours a day, 5 days a week, 10 hours you have saved. Okay.
Yeah.
So, okay, there would be weeks where 5 hours your office will take it, right? But still, you have 5 hours that you have taken out for yourself.
Yes.
Right? So, it's still better. But meeting up, hybrid policies where at least once a week, twice a week, people are coming to office uh, are things you have to do, because otherwise you will not be able to combat the isolation.
Yes. So it is most important when we talk about the remote employee to their well-being. So most important that is the environment, setting of the effective environment where they have to create the balance between their work as well as their life. Second, come it is most important for as in the human being. The human connection is greater to that having the balanced life also as a well-being. Where we talk about the fully working for the 6 days in a week at a home, that may be there's some causing of the isolation. So as you said that combating the isolation, that is a great strategy to be either it may be some connectivity weekly basis, fortnight basis should be there physically so that people can see their face and actually what they are doing. They can connect with them as a human being. That is the most important aspect you have been shared as a strategy to how the corporate they can deal with the remote work employee and as in the helping them to create and the employee well-being or their health specific. So now come to the next perspective that is about coming where we come through the as in the domain of human resources and the management. They especially worried about to how they have to plan their the strategy to create a culture of well-being. So I would like to know about you and from you that the what are the some practical steps that companies can take to foster the culture and especially to prioritize the well-being at all level into the organization.
Correct, correct. So I think the there are a few obvious ones which already a lot of people are doing, which is a comprehensive wellness program, properly branded, properly communicated, right? Just like we market any product, right, to our consumers, right? That employee initiative, the wellness program or the initiative has to be marketed, and you have to put on your marketing hats there and think, uh, you know, I have to get it engaging. I have to have the participation levels which are high, right? So that is one aspect, right? And I've already discussed about having open communication channels, right? Leadership commitment, not just on day one to launch the program, but given those monthly, I would say, anecdotes
Yes.
to showcase the leadership,
Yeah.
right? So those morning walk selfies into a collage, videos, everything helps, right? Uh, Incorporating these discussions in your normal quarterly meetings. How many quarterly meetings have happened where, say a sales team or a manufacturing supply chain team, they're having their quarterly review meet, right? In how many of those meetings is this point discussed? Okay, what happened? What is happening with the wellness program? Are you all using it? How is it? What are the issues? What else should be there? Why are you not using it? Use karo. क्या हो रहा है? Time नहीं मिल रहा है. What is the problem? Right? It should come into the fabric of every discussion between a
Yes.
supervisor and a team member. Right?
Definitely.
That uh, it is just not enough to launch a program, but as I said, the leadership commitment should be throughout the year. The discussions between supervisor and this, so there should be special training programs for the supervisors. Whoever has a team has to have a special session that, if you want a team to succeed, so the organization is thinking that way, that if I want my organization to succeed, I need to have these holistic well-being. Now, the every supervisor, every team lead has to think of it in that way, that within my team, so those training also needs to happen, right? That is the only way you would be able to, foster this culture of well-being, right? This culture of care,
Yes.
right? This culture of care, that if somebody is feeling depressed today, what should I be doing? How should I be reacting? Right? I should not make fun of that person, right? But that acceptance, that awareness has to come in, right? And this culture of well-being and culture of care, it has to become the DNA of every discussion between a supervisor and a team member, between two team members, right? And this particular training, again, as I said, is often missed out. So again, you have EAP resources, therapy sessions, everything is available, but the training for the immediate supervisor and team lead, what you should do when somebody comes and tells you something.
Yes.
Yes, you can say you direct them to the resources that are available, but that's not enough. That's not enough. That a chatbot also could have done. Na?
Yeah.
I'm not feeling well. This is the link. All your programs are there. Resources are there. Go and use it. Block a session, right? So how they should react to it. So training of team members on that, right? Uh, so that they can, as I said, in a normal business as usual flow, this becomes a part of it, right? So that they can handle the situation well. And regular health assessments is again a very important aspect, right? Whether it is, as I said, pure technology based assessments, right?
Yep.
Questionnaire based assessment, computer vision based assessments, where
Yes.
you're checking through a face scan, you're checking your temperature, stress level, or you're having a neck assessment, posture assessment, right? Uh, just while you're sitting on the laptop and doing it, assessment is also happening, right?
Yes.
And keep doing this at regular intervals, eye checkups. Uh, Nowadays, it's very highly recommended that the diet of people, right? How can we have very practical strategies around it, right? So that people can follow those diets, etc. Right. So I would say these are some of the practical steps that organizations have taken, right? Some of the organizations have had these recognitions, right? That which are basically our health ambassadors, right? So almost recognizing them for the fact that they have become influencers within their team,
Yes.
right? By making improvement, they might not be the healthiest within the team. So I'm not saying to recognize the people who is the healthiest, but in the last, say, 1 month, who has made the most progress, right? I was very unhealthy, now I'm become, or even say recognize people, say, who have, say, quit smoking. But think outside the box around it, right? It's not has to, you don't have to recognize the person who is the best or the healthiest, right? Oh, whoever is doing the maximum number of steps or has the maximum endurance, that anyway they are getting benefited because of good health.
Yes.
But there are other aspects, you can recognize, right? You can recognize effort,
Which
that
is important.
the 20 days I have walked for
Yes.
8,000 steps last 20 days. Uske pehle I was not doing it. So this is my first small win,
Yeah.
and somebody is recognizing me for it. It goes a long way. It goes a long way in making sure that people continue with this.
Yes.
So that's it.
Yeah. So when we talk about creating of the culture of well-being, so it is not just in the one time initiated and approved the finance for the tech resources as in the leadership job. So it is the leadership is as an responsibilities, as you mentioned that the strategies it should be into the general and the daily talking and communication of the individual to individual at the every level. If we start the team, then their team leader, then supervisor, then manager, and then at the top, so it can become as the end we come to it that the holistic approach and communication with all the levels, so that they are beyond to the work and their target what has been set. And then after, it is about their the individual and physical and well-being related, or well-being related target what they have been done. So as you said, that rather than who has been achieved maximum, recognizing them, appreciating them, who has been initiated and just go one step ahead, so they must be recognized, so that the
Also, they
culture,
must
yes,
recognize also, right?
yes,
You have to
so
recognize those uh, baby steps.
yes,
Yes, that person ultimately, when they start crawling and running, walking and running a marathon, okay, or you will recognize them there, but
yes,
recognize them for taking the first step also, right? So
definitely.
that helps.
So that is the most impactful motivational step, when we have done something just to start it. So when we recognize that, so it is the way to motivating them to do something, to reaching to, now we can go for the compare with the someone has been done something specific. So
Correct.
that, well, the strategy you has been shared to be create and the culture of the well-being into the organization. Now come to the, which is also the another the big trouble and the big issue for the management and HR to handle with. That is about the, when we talk about the well-being, there are some the sensitive cases coming to their day-to-day work. So in that case, what is your advice is, so they can handle these sensitive cases of employee well-being, which I can here identify, like involving the personal crisis and the dramatic events are there. So what would be your suggestion, strategies and ideas for the corporates?
Correct. Correct. So, so I think the first thing is that there should be a very structured SOP that should be established, and it should be aligned with the leadership, the HR team, the different department heads. It should be aligned with them that for the sensitive cases, this is how we are going to proceed. Right? These are the steps. This is how it will go ahead. This is how we'll maintain confidentiality, but still provide the help that the person needs. Right?
Yeah.
So that's the first part. That there has to be whatever. There are no rights or wrongs. There are some best practices which you can incorporate and put it in, but it has to be aligned, right? And there has to be
Yes.
something. Second is training. Again, I will repeat the point around training for the managers, right? That what to do has to start from there, right? Because they are the first people who would get a sense of it.
Yes.
In most cases, if they have had to write it to the HR that, oh, I'm going through this, that means already a lot of damage has been done, right? Yes, there could be cases where there is a conflict with the manager itself. There anyway, the others will have to step in, right? Now, others or the HR will have to step in, right? By looking into these parameters, how many holidays have they taken? What has been this thing, right? Etc. Etc. Right? Those are some of the indicators which also show that whether it is a mental health or whether it is physical health that is going into this thing. A lot of companies have annual health checkups, but
Mhm.
they're very passive.
Yes.
The checkup happens, but then what, right? So we do encourage that along with annual health checkup, immediately let the technology itself, so that no individual or any person is involved, right? The technology itself, based on the parameters, set the doctor consultations. Let the person just give a time that where they have going to have a doctor consultation, or have a
Yes.
with a health coach, have a session with the health coach, right? uh, so that again, malab, so that your data is confidential, but still you are getting tangible outcomes of that assessment,
Yeah,
right?
definitely.
And the any assessment should not just remain uh, as a passive document, right? So one of the things, for example, that we have done in our articles and educational content, etc., is suppose you have and it could be not on health, right? But this concept, so suppose you write an article on 5 things on HR, right?
Yeah.
Below the article, there is a associated tasks which are curated, and you can by one click add all those tasks to your calendar. So suppose in the article you have written about any area, say recruitment. You're writing an article on recruitment, and so there is a long article, but it is now synthesized into 5 tasks, right? Say whatever, read about somebody, right? Call somebody. You have curated that article into 4 tasks, and with one click, it gets added to your calendar, and it will remind you you had read that article. At that time, you thought that this is an important thing that I need to do, and a notification will come, just like you get a meeting reminder.
Yeah.
Right? So every content can be made actionable.
Yes.
Right? Otherwise, it becomes gyan and theory.
Definitely.
Right? So some of these things have been taken into account. The training on how to listen actively, both for the HR team and the team managers. It is very important. It is
Yes.
not a skill which you can assume everybody has.
Yeah.
You should not assume. You should assume the opposite, that no one has the skill of active listening, and then train them for it. Right? What should you do? What is the meaning of active listening? How you should respond, right? So that the other person opens up even more.
Yeah.
Right? From your body language, how should be your body language when a person is coming to you?
Yeah.
If your body language becomes shh, then it's gone. That person will not
Definitely.
open up again. So it's important to train, and I'm not saying you have to train everyone on this. It's not possible to train everyone, but anyone who's managing a team should get this training.
Yes.
Should be completely aware of what are the resources, what is the SOP that you have put in place for all the sensitive cases, right? So some of these actions, and the thing is, a lot of corporates are taking, say, 3 out of these 10 things that I have said, but uh, you'll have to strive to do all the 10 things, because
Yes.
it's a fast changing world. It's a very dynamic world, right?
Yeah.
And if you don't act, things will get worse. There's no two ways about it. That things will get worse and worse.
Definitely. So when it comes to the sensitive cases, so as your advisors to the corporate and management, they have to take they have to curate it with the action taking. There's some steps, stages to be take actions immediately, instantly, so that whatever the sensitive matters are there, it can be curated, it can be helped out, it can be resolved out. So now come to the another point, where at the end when we do any action, so rest on that how we can measure that what result it is driving. So similarly into
Right.
the valving, so now come to the question how we can measure the success of the valving program which organization may deploy, may design or implement for their employee. So there may be some metrics and indicator which
Right.
you can be highlights for the organization, so that they can measure at the end their the well-being program, health program, that are really driving the outcome which was as objective with the plan or this well-being program they have been initiated.
Correct. Correct. So uh, let me put it this way. Now you take, say, multiple initiatives, right?
Right.
Uh, every initiative that you take has to be a success.
Yes.
You have to make it a success. But the definition of success is not, oh, everybody in the organization should use it. They don't require it. Say if you have therapy sessions available, why does success mean, oh, only 10 people have used it? Maybe only 10 people need it. So when I mean that it has to be a success, it means that who have used it
Yes.
has to have a good positive outcome.
Yes.
Any initiative, whether it is gym, this, that, anything that you have started, whoever has used it, they should have gained out of it.
Yeah.
They should have gone and attended those things. They should have got something out of it, right?
Yes.
So that's one. every initiative has to be a success. Success, the benefit might have been delivered to only 5% of the people. That's okay. But it has to be delivered.
Yeah.
Does that mean you should not check the participation rates? No. You should also check another metric is participation rates, right? How many
Okay.
people have been involved in this, right? How many people are normally getting involved in other companies, similar companies, right?
Yes.
So maybe, uh, uh, say I'm giving an example that, say it's a webinar on heart health by a doctor, right?
Okay.
And you know, in your organization only say 5% of the your employees are coming and joining, but in other organizations say 5 to 6% only join, then it's
Yes.
okay, right? Because, but if that is the case, you should also see why they are not joining. They might not be joining because they have a meeting, they're on the road, they're part of a sales team who are traveling from one place to another. How will they go and join that session at 3 o'clock? Even if they're able to join from the phone, they are just joining it to give attendance, right? They're not really absorbing anything. But then, can you record the session, keep the recording available, track how many people have viewed the recording, right?
Definitely.
So participation rates have very realistic targets around it, but then you have to reach those targets, right? Or you should strive to reach those targets. And as I said, you have to put your marketing hat on.
Yeah.
Every
Definitely.
initiative you have to think in this way, that my duty is not only to bring it to the people, but also to market it to the
Yes.
people. And that's
Yeah.
how you
Very
will get
nice.
higher participation rates. And whoever has participated, they should get the health outcomes.
Yeah.
Right?
Definitely.
Have the employee satisfaction surveys for every transaction without fail. Every
Yes.
transaction, there should be a survey. You will get to know some inputs from this, right?
Yes.
Whether everybody will respond to the satisfaction survey? No, they will not. But whoever is very happy and whoever is very unhappy, both categories will respond.
Yes.
So your job is done, right? You can fairly assume that the others are in this in between category. So employee satisfaction surveys and understanding, having the right feedback mechanisms in place, right, for every initiative, right? That whether, okay, we understand that you are a unique individual, you have unique needs, health needs, you have unique well-being needs, and you have unique motivations. Are we, through this diverse set of things, are we able to uh, get to you and make you use them? Give us feedback around it, right?
Yes.
Maybe there is a gap. Take that feedback, and if there are a lot of people giving the same feedback, let's do something about it, right? And keep on adding to those services, right?
Definitely.
So I think that would be, I would say, some of these metrics, etc. You There are aspects like engagement scores. These are the things that you can track as metrics, right? uh, there is some kind of theory and science around it also, research papers which talk about absenteeism and productivity also goes up. But there is an added aspect of uh, communicable diseases which also influence the absenteeism, right? You might be doing everything well, right? You have been working out, you have been having the right diet, but if there is a viral fever going on, you might fall sick.
Yeah. Definitely.
So that aspect of building your immunity is also something that sometimes people miss out on, right? When we are saying holistic well-being, right? So in the beginning, I mentioned, right, that your social, your emotional, your physical, your mental health, your immunity, all these aspects are important, right? Uh, to have a holistic health impact, right? And that's where most progressive companies are going towards, right? Understanding, analyzing the engagement data, the utilization data, when have they used it, what was the communication which triggered an increase in usage.
Yes.
All these things you have to look at it.
Yeah.
Oh, that means we sent out a mail. How many people opened the mail? Within those people, how many people clicked on the link and did something about it? Right.
Yes.
So the entire funnel has to be analyzed, uh, and that is where all platforms like Alyve Health also are. That's why we've made the platform in that way, so that in one place you can offer everything that you want and also analyze all these things. Right.
Great.
What is happening? Utilization month on month, every aspect of it. Right. How many mails were sent? How many WhatsApp messages were sent? Who all opened the WhatsApp messages? But number, aggregate level insights, right, is very important, right? So managing this health analytics, that year on year, what has been the improvement in your
Yes.
BMI levels or cholesterol levels? India is the diabetic capital of the world.
Yeah.
So, and people are taking actions based on them, right? People
Yes.
are changing the canteen food to take care of it, right? uh, so again, making the data actionable, right?
Yes.
You have to take actions on it. So what we call as, it's a data to insights to action. That should be your framework, right? But only data collect करके, there's no this year you will collect the data, next year the same data will come, or worse, it will make it worse.
Mhm.
So
Agree.
data to insights to action is something that people have started following regarding health, well-being, mental health also. So good.
Yes.
That's a good direction.
Yeah, so it is definitely when we or the organization have to see the successfulness of their, especially the initiative they have been taken. Either it is the well-being, it is any other program, or they have been initiated. So it is most important. They must have the data, then insight, and the actionable. They have to define where exactly get the result we want. As it is the health program, either there is out of 105 number are using, so they have to see that what result actually they get. So that is the ultimate outcome and the success measure for the organization. So thank you so much for your the great insight on the employee well-being. As of now, we are into this after the COVID and the 2020, the era of the workplaces has been changed from and the physical workplace to the and then it come to the hybrid, then the totally remote. Now it come to the every stages of the workplace, the well-being required to be considered. So as of now, when we talk about the employee well-being or the holistic well-being, it is important for every organization. When it is important, then it is the also more challenging for to implementation at the holistic basis and getting it to the every individual available. So at the end, I would like to see that and come to your thought that the trends of the employee well-being, how it is going to prepare the organization and the work of world for the future. How do you see it? And at the end, which is the most important questions, and the Alyve Health, how is helping Alyve Health organization, the to corporate as well as the individual, to they can have the, especially either it is a platform and one solution where they can have all these things in one platform, and so that easily can get that measuring part of their what they are going to do and how they are where they have been reached as of now with this program.
Correct, correct. So again, I think the emerging trends are basically that whatever I have said, there are people who have started doing these things, right? That people, there are organizations which have started looking at holistic health from all aspects, right? From physical health, mental health, emotional, social, building immunity, all angles, right? Uh, Very important aspect of this, right? And the second is giving this power of choice, right? Especially with the younger population, they need choice, right? They need to feel empowered, right? So don't force me to don't just give me one thing and expect me to do that thing, right? So giving choice of services and programs is also proving to be very useful, right? and the aspect of involving other family members and your loved ones, right? uh, that is a very that okay, my corporate is giving me 5 things, but it is also giving me the option to have a voluntary, add on to it, add on my parents to it, my parents-in-law to it, my spouse, my kids to it, and let them also enjoy this benefit. I might have to pay a little bit extra because that part is sponsored, but then I'm adding. But because it is from the corporate, the prices are much better. The value is much better.
Yes,
The experience that you will get is guaranteed,
definitely.
correct? Because it's the any provider or anybody. So you're using that same level of you're getting the same level of customer experience and responsiveness for everybody in the country, right?
Yeah.
So definitely that is an emerging trend where you're opening up these things, opening up, as I said, uh, different kinds of services, right? Aspects which in the past people did not really give much attention to. So specific things like, say, return to work programs, right? Pregnancy care, postnatal care programs, right? Where from Garbh Sanskar to ANC checks to vaccinations are getting covered within health plans, right?
Yes.
And you can imagine the from a employee side, they then become this. It inculcates this culture of care, correct? Because they are also so happy. Oh, this they are doing it for me, right? Elder care programs, uh, aspects such as infertility treatment, right, are getting included in health plans and being sponsored by corporates, right? Uh, Again, it will the 5%, it will be only addressing, say, 2% or 5% of the population, right? That particular service or the program, but the impact on those 2 to 4% of the people would be very high, and they will be your then the most engaged employees, the most loyal employees, right? And most caring employees, right? They will have that emotional connection with you, right, as an organization. uh, so I think these are the primary trends around it, this power of choice across the healthcare and well-being spectrum, the comprehensiveness of the health plans, right, which can cover everything, the convenience. People are focusing a lot on how to make it convenient for you, right? And platforms like Alyve are rightly positioned to do all that, right? So I will give you an example. Now you want to promote doctor consultation, that okay, whenever you have a issue, go to a doctor, don't try to google yourself and get it right. But you
Yeah.
keep procrastinating, हाँ, कल जाएंगे, ये करेंगे, वो करेंगे. Now you have a plan which has, say, doctor consultation from a wallet, right? But then again, if you restrict the network of doctors, you can only go to these 10 doctors. And where is this doctor? Oh, that doctor is 5 kilometers away from here. In Bombay, it will take me 1 hour to go. Will you go? You will never go, right? You will rather go to the doctor which is nearby, near your
Nearby.
house.
Yes.
So some of the things that we have tried to do is make it network independent, right? Make it
Okay.
completely cashless. So you pay through the Alyve Health app, you open the Alyve Health app, and then you pay the doctor with the QR, and your money will go from your wallet that is there as a part of your health plan.
Okay.
So it's just convenience, right? You can book a doctor appointment right from the app and then go and visit without paying money there, just come out cashless, right? Medicine deliveries, again, as I said, in terms of gym memberships or anything else, you can book from the app, go use, come back, right? A lot of self-care features, right? So what a platform like Alyve Health is also able to do is now give you this playing field, right? And also from the data and the insights that are emerging from all the assessments, etc., keep fine tuning, add something. Why wait till the end of the year? Okay, 6 months have gone, there is one plan, you can't keep the same plan. You want to add a few more benefits, add. Add
Okay.
a quit smoking program in between. Add a yoga program in the yoga month, right? Or if you want to focus on sleep, do a comprehensive sleep program, right? Where everything is covered end to end. So all these options are available. The real time data is available around all these things. What has been the utilization at an aggregate level? Health insights are available. How many people are healthy? How many people are diabetic as a percentage? So it just makes it a very active initiative, right? You're like very active in it. You're doing things, you're launching stuff based on your understanding of the needs. People are giving feedback. Every transaction, the feedback is getting recorded. All the things that we said getting tracked. So then it's just like using it and customizing it for your own type organization, right? A financial services company will have different needs, different pressures from, say, an IT services company, right?
Yeah.
NBFC, which is in the business of giving out loans, will have different kinds of pressures, right? A person who is in the supply chain team or a blue collar worker in a factory has different kinds of stressors and motivations and challenges.
Yeah.
Design for every group separately. Why have one program for everyone? Design for everybody separately and launch it in the same place. Everybody has a different view if you want to, right? Fine tuned
Yes.
to their needs. So these are the emerging trends, and a lot of companies have uh, now started taking this leap of faith. Previously, you might be aware that every company only used to give the health insurance which is only to cover hospitalization.
Yes.
But now other aspects, OPD, outpatient, doctor consultations, prescribed diagnostics, annual health checkups, EAP, gym memberships, sports pass memberships, self assessments, pregnancy fitness, elder care programs, infertility treatment, all are getting added to the health benefits or the health plans. And the best part that, say, a platform like Alyve does is everything. You are not going to 10 different apps. All services is in one app.
Fantastic.
So you will then use it. Huh?
Definitely.
Because you don't have to, you don't. So, imagine the situation which used to happen is first, oh, I have to go to a therapist. First, I will check the mail from my HR. It says, oh, this is the app that you have to go. Then I will go there. Here, everything that is there is in one app. All your wallets, doctor consultations, diagnostics, medicine delivery at home. Everything is in one place, right? That is also driving the adoption, driving the engagement, and uh, and I think that is the future, right? That is the only way you can ensure that the participation rates, all the metrics that we discussed, achieving the metrics, gamification, right? We do a lot of
Yes.
gamification in our
Definitely.
app and all that, which helps in driving this overall outcome.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think I ended up taking a little bit longer of your time. I hope
Not an issue,
sorry
not
for
an
that.
issue.
I think
Yeah, it was a great discussion on the holistic view of the holistic well-being approach for the organization, how they can effectively design their well-being program. And at the end, Alive Health is one of the platform which would provide all those solutions to the corporates and we're helping the individual to dwell into their end-to-end needs.
right.
So it is as of now, I have been work for around the six number of the top number of organization, and there especially we talk about the health program. So that is especially on the annual health care program only. What you said as in the platform, the Alive Health is providing, that is a unique of itself, and it is definitely helping the corporates. They where they had to be launch any initiative for the well-being. It is a need of the time, and the Alive Health is helping. corporates into all that. So thank you so much, Sushant Roy, for giving your time for this discussion, and a long discussion we had based on the various points. It is started with the designing of the program for the holistic well-being of the employee. Then we stressed on the mental health, how your advices with helping to the corporate to effectively they can cater their program for the mental health in at the workplace. Then the physical health is also one of the key part for the employee, as in the organization they have to be cater on, they have to be take care. Based on that, which is most important, holistically, totally the work life balance, how they have to be managed for the individual organization, for giving your advices as well as your idea to helping the organization to have an curative holistic well-being approach for the organization. At the end, I would also that thank you for giving your time, as well as also wishing you all the best for the Alive Health to